All right. Spurs lose to the Pistons. I think it was 125 to 110. We lost by like 15 points. We'll get right into the numbers and whatnot in a second here. Here's our man, Devin Vassell. I'll do like an even more in-depth breakdown for Devin Vassell later here in the video. Before we get to the box score, some of my first impressions of the game just after watching it last night. I would say Cade Cunningham's a beast of a hooper. That's probably my first impression. Jeremy Sohan did a great job on Cade Cunningham. He was playing really good defense on him when Sohan was on him, but it just didn't even matter. Cade Cunningham is just so good. Comment below what you think about Cade, but he just reminds me of Luka Doncic. Luka's a higher caliber player, of course, but Cade's play style is almost just like Luka. I think Cade may be a better three-point shooter. Even I have to check that out for his percentages. But Cade comes off the screen, he gets going downhill, he cuts off his defender, keeps his defender on his back, just like Luka does, and then it's a two-on-one. He has the roll man, and it's Cade over here. Then Cade's gonna get a wide open layup, or he's gonna throw a lob to his roll man. He had a gross layup. If you remember what I'm talking about, he's driving down and he goes up. He goes up on the right side of the rim and then he brings it back and he lays it up like this on the left side of the rim. It was honestly beautiful. It was a really nice layup. But yeah, Jeremy Sohan did a great job on Cade. Even though Cade Cunningham still cooked us, you can play great defense on a great player, and they still might have a great game. You can just do as much as you can, and then the results are the results. But yeah, Sohan did a good job. Devin Vassell was a bit inconsistent again. I feel like he's been inconsistent these past few games. Just in my last video, I was saying I don't know if we're gonna be shopping him over the summer. I feel like we may be shopping Keldon Johnson. We'll get to his game in a second too. We actually had a great game tonight, but like I said last video, I don't know if we're gonna be shopping Devin Vassell, but I think I was probably just overreacting. We'll get to his numbers here in a second, but again, I think I may have just been overreacting. If you go through his numbers, this month and the past month in January as well, he actually hasn't been as bad as we think. I think I was trying to make people at first and early in the season were trying to make Devin Vassell our second option. I always said he's not going to be the second option, he's going to be the third option. And now it seems like he's probably going to be more like the fourth option. And it's not bad to have a fourth option that can give you 15 to honestly 30 points on any given night. Devin Vassell can catch on fire sometimes and just give you an insane amount of points starting right now, but possibly off the bench if that's where we move him to. Almost like a J.R. Smith off the bench for us, some guy that's probably going to give you, at least like 14 to 16 points almost every night. Can be a bit inconsistent, but he might just pop off for 30, 35 points one night. You never know. But yeah, we'll get to a more in-depth breakdown for Devin Vassell a little later here. Um, what else? Stephon Castle, he had a good game. We'll get to his numbers here, but he didn't play a lot of minutes at all. It seemed like he was not on the court very much. I don't know why we didn't have him out on the court. At this point in the season with Wemby being out, I feel like our number one goal should be to develop Stephon Castle. People had said we were soft tanking before Wemby went out. I kind of agree. I feel like we probably were because, again, comment below what you think, but we weren't playing our best lineups to get to the play-in. Like, I've been watching basketball since 2003. Not to say, I've been watching basketball 3 times longer than you or whatever like that. I know everything about basketball. But, I've been watching since 2003, so I know a little bit about basketball. I know Greg Popovich and Mitch Johnson, and these NBA players know way more than me about basketball. Again, let me know what you think below. But they know De'Aaron Fox, Chris Paul, and Stephon Castle all on the court at once is not the best bet for us to make the play-in. And they were playing those lineups even when Wemby was still not out with his condition. So even just De'Aaron Fox and Chris Paul on the court at the same time, I don't know why we do that. It's just when I see stuff like that, I'm not going to say, oh, we're 100% soft tanking or hard tanking or whatever you want to call it. But I see that, and I'm just like, Chris Paul and De'Aaron Fox on the court at the same time, especially when you throw in Stephon Castle, they all have redundant skill sets, and that's not that's not us setting ourselves up for the best chance to make the playoffs. It just isn't. But yeah, like I said, even before the Wemby injury, I thought we were soft tanking. But whatever your argument is, we are or aren't tanking. Either way you want to go, the best thing for us to do to finish out the season is let Stephon Castle play 30 minutes plus a night. Let him do what Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson have been doing these past 2 or 3 years. Throw him out there for a bunch of minutes. Wemby's not out there now, so they can get a lot of the ball handling time and a lot more opportunities. And let Stephon Castle make some mistakes. He's going to do a lot of great things out there. He's probably going to make a lot of rookie mistakes as well. But let him make those mistakes these next 30 games. He'll have some spectacular moments as well. And, we have, I don't think it's 30 games even left in the season, maybe 28 now. But you know what I mean? Give him a good 25 games, whatever it is, to develop, to make the mistakes, and, to show what he can do out there. Let him run the offense, or let him play with Chris Paul out there. I like that. Stephon Castle and Chris Paul on the court at the same time, because you've already seen how much Stephon Castle has improved playing next to Chris Paul. Whether you like CP3 or not, it's kind of undeniable. Just look at his past. Pretty much every team he goes to, the young guards that are playing with him, they get way, way better. If you just look at his past where he's been, SGA used to play with Chris Paul, and you've seen how great SGA has become now. There's other examples. I'm not saying, Shane Gilgeous-Alexander would not have been this without Chris Paul, but you've seen how much Stephon Castle improved playing next to him. SGA made a similar leap when he was playing next to Chris Paul. Guys, just start playing basketball the right way after being coached by CP3. But yeah, so ended good on Castle. Devin Vassell has been inconsistent. We'll get back to that. Stephon Castle did not get enough minutes, in my opinion. But yeah, let's get to the actual numbers here. We'll get back to this. That's Devin Vassell's numbers these past few games. We'll come back to the Pistons real quick as well. I'm at a big 28 subscribers. I'm trying to get to 30 by the end of the day, and YouTube said they'll send me a diamond ring on my pinky, so please like and subscribe if you enjoy the video. We'll start with Harrison Barnes. Worst game of the season for him. 0 points, missed all 3 of his shots, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, no turnovers. So even on the worst, Harrison Barnes' worst game of the season, he still has no turnovers. So Harrison's been so consistent for us all season. He he has that off game in his back pocket, and he used it tonight. I'm not mad at Harrison at all. He's been so consistent all season that, you know what I mean? I'm not going to beat him up over an off game. Bismack Biyombo, I don't know if you would say it was a great game, but he did all the dirty work again. He only played 12 minutes, but 2 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block. He did have the 2 turnovers, but I like Bismack a lot. And once we get Wemby back in there for next season, kind of hoping we do keep Bismack, and then we'll probably get a big man to play next to Wemby in the starting lineup. Probably get like a decent sized power forward, hopefully. And I'd like us to get another big man coming off the bench, so Bismack Biyombo can play next to that big man, or possibly just Bismack Biyombo and Charles Bassey both in there. They both play with really good energy, so I think that would be kind of a decent energy combo off the bench at least. But they're both kind of undersized, so we might need a 6'11", 7-foot center. I just don't know if it'd be better to have that 7-foot center play next to Wemby in the starting lineup. That would probably be best. But then I feel like we would still need another big man off the bench possibly. But yeah, Biyombo's energy's been great. His dirty work has been great for us. Again, back to my soft tanking theory I was saying earlier. I don't know why Biyombo wasn't playing with Wemby or coming off the bench to help back up Wemby, because he's very helpful and impactful when he plays minutes. Chris Paul, just one of Chris Paul's worst games of the season as well. He had 3 points, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, only made 1 shot. So off night for our whole team, but CP didn't have a good night. De'Aaron Fox was amazing, honestly. 11 for 18, 27 points, 4 steals, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. Did have the 3 turnovers. He's 3 for 7 from 3, so we'll take that all day if you can hit 3 for 7 from 3 for us. Field goal percentage is amazing. One thing you see though, minus 35 on the plus minus. I think plus minus I think it's a weird stat. It can be really telling, but I think it can be misleading as well. Um, yeah, he had the minus 35. I mean, his plus minus was the worst behind Vassell's, and his was twice as bad as Vassell's. So comment below what you think about plus minus. De'Aaron Fox was not playing losing basketball tonight or something. Just for whatever reason, when he was in the game, I guess the Pistons were going on their runs at that point. But again, he had the 4 steals. He plays really good one-on-one defense. He plays really good team defense. It's not like people were blowing by him or just destroying him on defense. So I don't know. The minus 35 it's pretty crazy though. Again, comment below what you think about that because I don't think. Well, I know De'Aaron Fox doesn't play losing basketball out there, so that was kind of weird. Again, Devin Vassell, we'll come back to him. I'm going to get more in depth into Devin Vassell in a second. We got a Mamu sighting, 10 points, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 assists, 7 rebounds in 22 minutes. Hopefully we see more of Mamu now that Wemby's going to be out for the rest of the season. I feel like Mamu can give you, something like this. You'd like to see a better field goal percentage, but I feel like that would go up if he just got some more minutes to play. But yeah, you can give Mamu 20 minutes every game, and he can give you some production. I mean, how tall is Mamu? I think he's like 6'10" or something like that. He's pretty strong and physical too. So I mean, give him 20 minutes. If he can get us 7 rebounds off the bench, every night, we'll take that. He throws in the 10 points as well. So that's just some icing on the cake. 1 steal, 1 block. He plays with a bunch of energy out there, so we love to see that. Julian Champagnie missed all of his shots. 0 for 4 from the field. 0 for 3 from 3. 2 steals and 1 point. 2 blocks as well. So a decent impact on defense. He only played 14 minutes. I feel like it's weird. Champagnie was getting like 20, 25 minutes every single night at the beginning of the season. Our team was playing well. We were playing better than anyone thought we were going to play to start the season. We were winning more games than anyone thought. We were at 22 games, or 22 wins rather, by January, I think. So, we only won 22 games all last season. So, we were ahead of pace. I think the team was developing, faster than our management thought and faster than everyone thought. Then again, comment below what you think, but all of a sudden, Julian Champagnie's minutes just dipped. Our whole lineup changed. Even before we got De'Aaron Fox, like things just changed. Champagnie's minutes dipped. We started doing weird lineups, and then we started losing games. I think we may have been winning more games than we wanted to. We didn't want to finish. Honestly, it's weird. We didn't want to finish like in the play-in. It would have been good for Wemby and the young guys to get some experience. Let me know what you think again, but in my opinion, I feel like it's better for us to finish in the 12 or 13 seed. Unfortunately, I don't like to watch us lose, but we finish there, and then we get 2 top 10 draft picks, hopefully our own, and then hopefully 1 from Atlanta. And then next season we really start pushing it. We really start playing some real starting lineups and start playing our best lineups out there. One argument that I honestly haven't heard from anyone. Maybe we're just playing random ass lineups right now because we don't want other teams to have tape of us. That way, when we do make the play-in tournament or the playoffs, most likely next season, I feel like we will. But that way, teams have no tape of our real starting lineups. We're keeping it in our back pocket. So once we do start playing our real starting lineups, teams have less footage to look at and less, less of an idea of how we're gonna look. So next season we can kind of come out and maybe catch teams off guard and start playing our best lineups to win. Because right now I don't think we're playing our best lineups to win. Again, if you're playing De'Aaron Fox and Chris Paul both in the game at the same time, you can't convince me that we're doing everything we can coaching wise and lineup wise to win games. Yeah, again, just an off game for Champagnie. Weird how his minutes just dipped out of nowhere. Someone had a great game in my opinion. He did a great job on Cade Cunningham, but Cunningham still cooked us though. He had the minus 20 again. Thought he played really well on defense. He wasn't getting cooked on defense, so I think him and De'Aaron Fox were just in the game when all the Pistons shots just started to fall for whatever reason. But yeah, 8 points, 3 assists, 1 steal, 3 rebounds. 3 for 7 from the field. Not crazy numbers, but Sohan just bothers everyone so much out there on defense. He can switch like every single pick and roll. Probably our most valuable defensive player after Wemby, of course. Charles Bassey back from he had like a knee sprain, so it's good to see him back out there and healthy. 3 for 3, 6 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Only played 11 minutes, but it's good to see him back out there playing again and just getting back healthy. Always brings great minutes. Our bench got some garbage time. McLaughlin, Duke Jr., Malachi, Blake Wesley. Only got 3 minutes each. Just nothing too much to talk about there. This right here, though, Stephon Castle only had 13 minutes, and he was just like amazing in the time he played. He got in there and he was just bullying guys and just doing what he wanted. 4 for 9 from the field. He had 12 points in 13 minutes. So, like, that's another weird thing. Stephon Castle playing these low minutes tonight, it kind of seems like we weren't doing everything we could to win the game. But yeah, he has the 12 points, 2 steals, 1 assist, 3 rebounds in only 13 minutes. If he played 25, 26, he's probably over 20 points. And, just has a really good all-around game, probably. One thing I could say here, we are coming off a back-to-back, so maybe, did he knock knees? I think he knocked knees with somebody in the past game. So, maybe he just had a sore knee or whatever it is. Second game of back-to-back, so it's not completely unreasonable, for him to get lower minutes. But again, he's a rookie. He's like the Energizer Bunny. He has energy for days out there. So it's a little weird, but I think it's just probably soreness. I'm pretty sure it was Castle that knocked knees with someone last night. So just probably something like that, but he'll be okay. Let's go over the Pistons real quick. Duren was killing us. He had some nasty alley-oops. He had one-handed one. I think it was from Cade Cunningham. It was gross, but he's 10 for 14. 15 rebounds, 21 points, a steal, a block. He just killed us. Cade Cunningham's an amazing basketball player. Reminds me of Luka. Luka's more skilled again, but Cade's really good. 25 points, 12 assists, 2 steals. Only 1 rebound, but Durant had 15, so we're not too worried about that. Comment below what you think about Cade. I think Cade's an amazing basketball player. Again, 25 and 12. Like I said before, he just comes off the screen, and as soon as you're behind him, he just dribbles in front of you, and he just keeps you on his back, and you just can't do anything to get back in the play. Tobias Harris, he hit like his first 7 shots or something like that. He was amazing. 22 points on 10 shots, 2 steals, 2 assists, 7 rebounds. Just a great all-around team performance by the Pistons. Hats off to the Pistons. I'm not going to get too much into their stats here, but oh yeah, Beasley, 4 for 7 from 3, 16 points. He was a huge spark off the bench to them as well, but hats off to the Pistons. Cade Cunningham's amazing. I mean, what else can you say? Back to Devin Vassell, though. 6 points, 2 for 7 from the field, so he took 7 shots to get 6 points. You don't love to see it. 1 block, 1 steal, 1 rebound, 2 turnovers. Whatever. We had an off game all around as a team. I was doing the same thing. Everyone's freaking out about Devin Vassell. Devin Vassell's inconsistent, this and that. I'm part of it as well. My very last video, I was saying, man, I'm worried about Vassell. He's been really inconsistent. He's consistently inconsistent. And he kind of is. I'll get to his stats here. The one thing I would say about Vassell, though, beginning of the season, everyone's saying, oh, Vassell's our second option. He's not doing enough next to Wemby. I never thought he would be our second option. I was saying, earlier in the season, he's going to be the third option once we get our second star player. I didn't know it was going to be De'Aaron Fox at that point, but now that we got our second star player, Wemby's number 1, De'Aaron Fox is number 2, number 3 would be Devin Vassell right now, but we're probably going to pick up another star. We'll see what we get in the draft. Maybe we get a scorer in the draft. We'll see what happens. But Devin Vassell is going to be the number 4 option most likely. And I think I said earlier in the video he'd be a great number 4 option. I was thinking he'd be a great number 3 option at first, but after kind of seeing how things look, I think he'd be more of a number 4 option. We could possibly use him as a sixth man off the bench. And, he'd be great as a sixth man. He could come in. He'll probably give you 14 or 15 points off the bench pretty much every night. Then he could possibly go off for 25, 30 points. I'm kind of thinking of him as more of like a J.R. Smith type of player at this point. He's not. I think he's probably more consistent than J.R. Smith. They're different players, of course, but I think Devin Vassell plays better defense than JR, and he's more focused. But, they both can come in, just give you a huge spark off the bench. They can both just knock down the three ball and just be like spark plug type of players. Manu Ginobili was really inconsistent off the bench as well. If you really look at his stats, Ginobili's more talented than Vassell, of course. Ginobili could have been a superstar on his own team. But, again, I look at him as more of a sixth man than the number two or even the number three scorer. That probably just changed for me in the past week or 10 days. Because probably just last week I was thinking, man, Vassell's going to be our number three. He can be the number three. And now as the games keep going on, I'm thinking he'll be more of a number four option. I'd probably put Stephon Castle in front of him. Like even right now, I'd say Stephon Castle is more our number three scoring option. I trust him with the ball in his hands more than Vassell right now, and I feel like he's not a better shooter, but I feel like he's a little more consistent, I would say, and I feel like he can score. He's not a better all-around scorer than Vassell, but I feel like he's just a more reliable third option. For our third option offensively, just scoring-wise, playmaking-wise, and just having the ball in his hands. But anyway, if we look here, this is February right here. But yeah, Vassell has 6 points against Detroit. So you see that, kind of prisoner of the moment, which I was being. Just the last game, 6 points, 13 points, 8 points, 7 points. So you see that 4-game stretch, and you're like, oh man, 28%, 35%, 33%, 22% from the field. So you see that, and you're like, man, that's not great. But then 25 points, 15 points, 20 points, 11 points, 18 points. So there's a solid 5-game stretch right there before. 78% from the field, 38%, 50%, 33%, 36%. So, solid performances, a little inconsistent with the 33%, 36%. You want to see better, but then he has the 78%, the 50%. So, it's inconsistent, but then going into January, 12 points, 19 points, 6 points, 25, 23, 21, 21, 23. After that 5-game stretch of going 20 points or more, we were all thinking, man, Devin Vassell is back. This is what Devin Vassell always is. Because we're used to seeing him, 2 seasons ago when he's the starter and he's getting all these shots. That's kind of what he looks like when he's like the focal point of the offense. But look over here, during that stretch, 69%, 40%, 53%, 53%, 50%. So, 5-game stretch of just being on fire. And again, I was kind of overreacting in my last video. I don't know if we're going to shop Devin, this and that. I don't think we will, again, unless we can get like Giannis or one of those superstar type of players. But again, just that 5-game stretch, 25, 23, 21, 21, 23. I'm not going to average out those percentages from the field, but 69, 40, 53, 53, 50%. That could win you a playoff series right there. Like when Danny Green got hot in the finals against Miami, Danny Green was probably our fourth option. We had Tim Duncan, Kawhi. Tony Parker was probably in front of Danny Green. So yeah, he's probably our fourth option scorer. He lit on fire. It wasn't completely, his fault we won the finals, but he was a huge reason. Probably the number one reason we won the finals. In 2014, just caught on fire from three, and he was having performances like this. So I could see Devin Vassell catching on fire during a playoff series and pretty much being the reason or the main reason we win a playoff series. If he gets on a 5-game hot streak like this, but then 11 points, 19 points, 18 points. If you see performances like this, it doesn't scream to me second option. He could be a third option, with these types of numbers, but I feel like he'll be more of a fourth option on our team once we're really making the playoff pushes and once we're really, really starting to mesh together and getting into our prime as a team in these next 3 or 4 years. But yeah, if you look at these numbers, Vassell's been a bit inconsistent, but he's averaging for the season, I think, yeah, right here, 15.6. 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 43% field goal percentage. So it's an off season for him, but he's still giving us 15 points. We'd like to see him be over 45% from the field, but just a bit of an off season. He's getting used to having Wemby as number one option, getting used to playing with De'Aaron Fox and just things like that. But I was worried about Vassell yesterday. After looking over some of these numbers, again, that 5-game hot streak he had, where he was 25, 23, 21, 21, 23. He's probably shooting like 55% or so over those 5 games. So when I see stuff like that, I think, man, if you got on a heater like this during the playoffs, he can catch on fire, even for just one game and pretty much win you that game. He might go for 30, 35 points when he's on fire. So I think he's a great 4th option. When people are trying to make him the 2nd option, even I was guilty of trying to make him the 3rd option. I don't think he's so much a 2nd or a 3rd option, but as a 4th option, he could be really solid for us. But yeah, please comment below what you think about our performance against the Pistons. If you think we're trying to push for the play-in, or if you think we're semi-tanking to finish out the season. What you think about Devin Vassell's play as well. And yeah, just please comment below. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video too.